Ladies and gentlemen, I am your social pariah turned messiah. I am the misfit that doesn't know when to quit. I am the man without a plan, and in case you haven't heard, I always, and I mean always, have the last word. What's up? I'm back. Let's roll the credits and get this Money in the Bank show on the road. Hit it! What? It's not like he can use it anymore. Come on. Fine. My pretend editor, roll the regular credits. People are no fun. What's up, everybody? Long time no see. I'm back. It's time for Money in the Bank 2019. Kind of a shit show. I'll cover it at the end here, but that finished in a men's match. WWE, go fuck yourself. Seriously? No one asked for that. No one. Oh, dear God. But yeah, let's get into this, folks. I want to apologize for not being around the last couple of months. I've been busy with college. I started a movie, which I eventually will have a link to on YouTube. It is going to be submitted to some film festivals, so I can't put it up anywhere till then. I also helped make a movie, and these are short student films. The one I starred in was 20 minutes. The one I helped make was about 10, a little over 10. So I was busy with two movies. I helped organize and run a charity run at the university for my capstone class. And I took 5 freaking classes this semester. So I'm done with college. Now it's finding a job again and all that fun stuff. But I apologize. I was away for a bit. I had to take care of some things. But I picked a really freaking crazy ass moment to come back to do this this podcast again. So let's talk about the women's Money in the Bank match. This was a botchy mess at times. Overall, it wasn't bad. I had fun with it. Nikki Cross, when she did her helicopter spinny thing, was fantastic. That was hilarious. She knocked everyone down. Naomi came out in the Bumblebee outfit from DC, specifically Teen Titans. That was freaking cool. Dana Brooke had a moment where she forgot how to climb and reach forward. About 3 times during the match, Mandy Rose just looked like a moron. And just not knowing how to climb, not knowing how to grab things, just staring into space. Because it seemed just like missed cues or pacing was off during the match. I will say, Mandy Rose, she's freaking hot. I'm disappointed that neither member of Team Body Pillow, Kairi Sane or Asuka, was in the match. That should have happened, since they weren't in the pay-per-view at all. It's almost like you should have done something there, WWE. Like, duh. But, so I'm going to keep this nice and short since this is my second time recording it because my webcam software decided not to record my audio after 35 minutes. So, women's match. Naomi looked awesome, had some nice spots jumping across ladders, doing splits and ducking as the remaining 4 women in the ring both charged at her from each side with their ladders. The finish sucked. Early in the match, Carmella got hurt, left, came down. They did the psych out like she was going to win it. And ended up being Bayley getting ready to climb up the ladder. Sonya Deville took out Bayley and then grabbed Mandy Rose, put her over her shoulders in a fireman carry, climbed up, and as she got to the top and positioned Mandy, and Mandy just standing there in La La Land, Bayley climbed up. They stared at each other. Mandy just kind of forgot what the hell she was doing and did these weird slappy punch things before Bayley just pushed both of them off and grabbed the briefcase. The finish was dumb. Just having, again, another women's Money in the Bank match where someone interferes and ends up causing the finish was dumb. But at least it wasn't freaking Ellsworth this time. So Bayley won. My comment I wrote down was I hope to God they book her better than they did the first time because I really don't feel like rehashing my podcast from a year and a half, 2 years ago, when I just tore apart how everything they booked with her, how I couldn't take her seriously again. Well, later on in the show, spoiler alert, they actually followed through on this. I was impressed. So after the women's Money in the Bank match, which again, out of a 5-star scale, I'd give it maybe 2.5. We got I would give this a 0 if I honestly could. I'll go, it's my own scale, but I'll give it a half a star. Samoa Joe and Rey Mysterio. And the only reason this is a half a star was this wasn't really a match. Rey got like one kick in. Samoa Joe pounded Rey a bit, and then Samoa Joe went to powerbomb Rey. Rey countered it with a Hurricane Rana into a roll-up pin. And despite having both shoulders up, Samoa Joe got a 3 count. Despite the ref staring at the fact that both shoulders were off the ground. Now, this was supposed to be a botched finish, which I can take. Because storyline-wise, this was supposed to further their feud. The problem was it was a complete total botch because neither shoulder was down, so you couldn't even do what they were trying to do, which was, his left shoulder was up, the ref didn't see it. No, I was going to say all 4 shoulders, yeah. Both shoulders were up. It was just embarrassing. This match sucked. I don't hate it completely. I won't give it a 0 because it is there to further the storyline. Samoa Joe beat the living hell out of Rey in front of his kid. I remember Little Donovan and seeing him as an adult, almost an adult, he's a teenager, makes me feel freaking old. So, yeah. Hot damn. I remember him and freaking Eddie Guerrero, and now Little Donovan's almost grown up. But this match was dumb. Moving on. Speaking of dumb, we had a steel cage match that turned out to be a boring, poorly paced slogfest between The Miz and Shane. There was a couple cool spots. And this is a typical Shane match where he just gets his ass kicked repeatedly and then somehow pulls a win out of his ass. And it was the same thing at WrestleMania. I don't care if you thought that match was good. I hated it. It wasn't the worst Shane McMahon match. It was better than the Undertaker match. But the one at WrestleMania, just so many people I talked to loved it. I hated it. I think I hated it mostly because Potato Miz got in the ring, his dad. And I know I say that ironically because I'm a potato with glasses. But this match sucked. There was a cool spot where he did a skull-crushing finale onto a chair. He wailed on he wailed on Shane with a chair. And what bothered me was it was 99, not 99, maybe 95% offense by The Miz. But anytime Shane did any kind of move or counter, The Miz was winded and out. And it just didn't pace right. And it ended stupidly, but it ended probably in a way that lets The Miz look strong and Shane keep the bullshit greatest wrestler in the world angle that he's got going. And so what we had, they're both on top of the cage, and Shane was trying to get him over back. Miz was trying to climb out. Shane, not Miz. I did it again. Shane was trying to climb out. Wow. A little rusty, aren't I? So Shane was trying to climb out. Miz was trying to superplex him back over. And in the process, he ripped off Shane's shirt and Shane fell to the outside apron and won. The match sucked. I don't know how you make a steel cage match boring, but you did. So, meh. So we had the first 3 matches were kind of meh. The 4th match was Daivari versus Nice. Amazing match. It was weird having this cruiserweight match on right after a slow, drudgingly paced steel cage match. But this match was actually good. Nice ended up winning, and my only complaint was Daivari hit, and I forgot what he called the finisher, but it was a lariat clothesline. Really nice looking. He hit it, and then ended up doing like a leap off the ropes and went for a pin. Nice kicked out, which is fine. It was a hard 2. This was like 2 3/4. But he got up too quick afterwards. I would have preferred if he sold the damage a little better. Because Daivari sold that he was winded because everything he just did. Because it was just giant like combo of maneuvers. And Nice ended up hitting his finisher and won the match and retained. It was a good match. I hate to say I don't really know much about either guy because you don't do anything to promote your cruiserweights. But at least they were on the actual pay-per-view. Backstage, we had a running thing throughout the night with Sami Zayn being afraid of Braun, and then all of a sudden, Braun's in the locker room, and Triple H walks up to him, yells at him for beating up Sami. Braun's like, I haven't gotten to him yet, I don't know what you're talking about. And then Triple H basically just asks him as his boss, and not, I'm not going to call the cops. I'm not going to have security walk you out. Essentially taking a jab at what they normally do with him between Shane and Vince and Steph. And Braun's nowhere to be heard from the rest of the night. Though we find out a minute later, because I think they showed these two clips out of order. Sami Zayn was beat up and taken to the hospital, so he was out of the men's Money in the Bank match, unfortunately. Next up, we had Becky Lynch and her 2 matches, because they ended up being back to back. The first one against Lacey Evans was weird. The crowd was hot. Hartford really likes Becky Lynch, and one thing I liked with Lacey Evans, she did this moment, and I just don't like her character at all. She doesn't have the mannerisms or even the petiteness of a Southern belle that she's trying to portray. And that's not a knock on her, because she's attractive and she's athletic. But it just looks weird with her character she's trying to portray. But she takes out like a hanky, a Kleenex, a tissue, a handkerchief. That's the word I want. And dabs her armpits, dabs her face, and then shoves it in Becky's mouth. Becky proceeds to beat the snot out of her. And then there was a spot where there was a huge botch, and I don't know if it was on Becky, if it was on her, or it was on the ref. But she rolls up Becky, and the ref starts counting. It does a quick 1 count, stops, goes to the other side, pauses. This would have been a 6 count, and she would have been champion already. And then Becky rolls her into the arm, disarmer, and gets her to tap instantly. It was an ugly finish. I would have maybe broke out of that and if I were the 2 ladies and did a different finish. I don't know how much of that was on them, or if the ref was like, okay, you need to lose now, we need to speed things up. But it was an ugly finish to the match. And then immediately Charlotte came out. Charlotte basically wanted to start the match right away. They went back and forth a little bit. They're both on the ring apron. Charlotte tried to hit natural selection. Becky clung to the ropes, so Charlotte went flying outside and kinked her back and was selling a back injury. Not like a come out and cart her out back injury, just that she hurt her back. So Becky's in the ring catching her breath, because during the previous match, Mandy took her knee out, so Becky was kind of nursing the knee. And they're really setting it up like Charlotte was going to hit the figure 8, and that was how she was going to win. But instead, Evans comes out and hits the women's right, which is just a nice punch. It's just a really nice punch. I got to give her props for it, and I love the freaking name. It works. So she knocks Becky stupid. Charlotte comes in. Becky tricks her and rolls her up, and the ref counts to 3, but it's not a 3 count for whatever reason. She clearly, and I don't know if it was who botched, but I'm going to blame the ref, because it was clearly a 3 count. But, they kick out at the 3, and then it's, 2 count, and, Becky almost retained. And as Becky goes to get up, Charlotte hits her with a boot and pins her. Charlotte's the SmackDown Women's Champion again, because yay. And then, of course, Lacey and Charlotte start beating the snot out of Becky. Eventually, and you knew this was coming. It was set up for this, and we're all on Twitter like, okay, when's it going to happen? Bayley's stupid music hits. She comes running out. She takes care of Lacey Evans, and then she grabs Charlotte and throws Charlotte headfirst into the ring post. Knocks Charlotte out. Then basically everybody's just like, okay, stupid, cash in. I'm on Twitter, cash in, for the love of God, cash in. I wrote in my notes, please cash in. The crowd's, as much as they're behind Becky the whole night, still behind Becky, they're basically like, well, you cash in. She cashes in, ends up pinning Charlotte, wins the belt. My favorite spot is she goes running into the crowd in the arena. They're at the XL Center in Hartford, so it was just funny. I know the area, because I'm from Connecticut. I live in Connecticut still. And she finds the hugger section, which is a really tiny part in the arena. And there's just this dude there, and she just looks at him and then stands up like on a seat next to him and raises the belt up. And I laughed, because I'm like, no, dude, you're not getting hugged by her. Stop being a creep. And it may have been harmless. It was just funny, because I was like, okay, she wasn't comfortable. But Bayley, after all that, wound up being your SmackDown champion. So right now, because Ronda bailed, and that's not a knock on Ronda, I think she got way too big of a push for being a rookie. just because of her name, which that's not the first or last time they'll do that in wrestling. So Becky's now the face of Raw, Charlotte's still on SmackDown, and Bayley's now the SmackDown champion. That gets Bayley off of Raw, where they had that whole fallout with Sasha Banks. Not that Bayley and her had a fallout. They had that god-awful feud that went nowhere and was a waste of time. But Sasha wanting to be the focal point when she wasn't, despite being given ample opportunity, and more or less quit. And I don't know what's going on there. That could all be a work. We'll find out in a few months if she shows up in AEW or somewhere else. But Bayley's on SmackDown. And then we had Elias and Roman. This was supposed to be a match. It was advertised on the card. What we got was bullshit. What a surprise. So, Elias is, you see a backstage clip of Elias doing El Kabong on Roman with the guitar. Elias comes in through the arena, sings a song about how garbage Hartford is, and my comment on Twitter, as a Connecticut resident, nothing Elias said was necessarily wrong. And then Elias basically he's singing trash in the city and goes to leave, and because it's the WWE and if they're nothing but completely predictable at times, and because it's Roman's music hits, he comes out, Superman punches Elias, who continues just to roll down the ramp back to the ring, and then he gets spared, pinned, 9-second match, waste of time. I hope one of two piss break moments for tonight. Yawn is the only way I could describe it. And can we not go right back to what you were doing with Roman before his leukemia came back? Don't do the things that didn't work the first time, because you're only going to be able to bank on goodwill that we all have towards Roman for so long before the crowd sees the same damn thing happening again and gets fed up and starts booing. And you know what? I don't want to boo Roman. And right now he's not in the title picture, though I have a hunch they're pulling some shenanigans with what happened in the men's Money in the Bank match, and we'll get to that. But he's not in the title picture. Dry mouth. I wish this was alcohol, but it's just water right now. Because after watching that freaking last part of the pay-per-view, a stiff drink was in order. Honestly, a stiff drink was in order. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe the refs were all drinking tonight, because damn. So, next match was the best match of the night, and that was AJ Styles and Seth Rollins. This was a pure technical skills masterpiece. This was match of the year contender. I mean, the bar is incredibly low this year in the WWE. You don't have to do much to be match of the year. Sadly, it's kind of not been a great year for the product. But this match was fantastic. This match came down to, and neither guy left anything in the ring. They did everything. Like, there was nobody held back. There was no, what if they did this? It was all out there. They just laid out all their cards, pulled out all the stops. It was a gorgeous match. If you're going to watch only one match from this show, I would recommend this one. But I'd also highly recommend watching Kevin Owens and Kofi. You know, I'm going to do the two side by side just to get them out of the way, because those are kind of the next two actual matches. Styles and Rollins was technical skills, and it was one of the best matches of the year from that standpoint. And Kofi and Owens may have been match of the night from a storytelling standpoint. Both these matches would be 4.5 out of 5. Charlotte versus Becky. Two. Evans and Becky. 2.5. I thought it was a little better than Charlotte one. Elias and Roman 0 because it wasn't a match. Nice and Daivari, I'll give a 4 out of 5 as well. So, I'm going to go with Styles and Rollins a 5 out of 5. Let's go with that. Now, this isn't a Dave Meltzer 5-star. This is just in context of this pay-per-view. And 4.5 out of 5 for Owens and Kofi. So, Styles and Rollins ended with a countering the phenomenal forearm into the revolutionary knee. I don't care. You keep giving bad names for that move. It just can be a knee. Rising knee. Revolutionary knee, which makes sense because he kind of spins into it, and then he hit a curb stomp and got the pin. And it was nice because he crawled over to him to pin him. It wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm because I'm part of the Shield, I'm better than everybody. This was, they beat the hell out of each other. He outmaneuvered AJ, crawled over, got the pin. AJ rolled out of the ring, started walking down the ramp, turned around, hobbled back into the ring. They faked out a heel turn. Seth jumped off the corner ropes where he was celebrating. They steered each other down. Seth lifted up the belt. AJ put his hand out. They shook hands, steered each other down, gave each other a nod of respect, and walked out. Perfect face versus face. Nice fake out. I'll give you props for that. You don't need to turn everyone heel just to make things happen. Kind of like you didn't need to make Shinsuke a heel during their match. Or bury the living daylights out of him last year. And then Owens and Kofi was really good. Owens hit a stunner at one point, which was nice. There was a nice spot where Kofi hit a double knee to Owens' chest. And basically how this ended was Owens went to hit a senton bomb. And, he's a big dude, so of course, they sell that as being a higher impact move, but it was part of the finishing routine for the Hardy Boys for years, so why not? And Owens does it pretty damn well. And Owens, when he went to do it, Kofi put his knees up, so Owens' back ate Kofi's knees. Owens wasn't doing too well. And then Kofi hit the Trouble in Paradise, and then got the pin. So Kofi retained, Rollins retained. It's Money in the Bank. I didn't think they were going to move all the belts tonight. We did at least see the one of the women's belts move. I figured she wouldn't walk out with both of them. I was hoping they were going to carry that in a little bit longer, but and then in between those two matches, we had the other piss break, and this was Lars Sullivan came out and basically just beat up the Lucha House Party. And why this is hilarious to me. This is the guy, and I didn't read anything he wrote, so I don't know the context of how bad it was or not. I don't agree with people that try to get people fired because they don't like what they said. That's immature. That's your prerogative, so I'm not going to tell you not to do what you want to do. But I don't agree with going to Snickers or going to whoever. I want this guy fired. Because you know what? Eventually somebody's going to do that on social media and they're going to get shot, and then it's going to be like, well, what'd you expect? So I'm not wishing that on anybody, but let's stop that. But I don't know what Lars said, so I'm not defending anything with him. But he just got fined $100,000 for making racist and homophobic remarks. So wisdom would say, don't job out 3 Hispanic wrestlers to the guy that just got fined for being racist. And again, this was stuff he said like 8-9 years ago on a freaking internet forum. People change, people grow. I don't hold this against him now because I don't know him. I like to give people a second chance because anybody can learn and grow. So, it is what it is. But not the smartest maneuver to job out the Lucha House Party to Lars Sullivan in context of what just happened recently. Really stupid, WWE, but freaking hilarious. So, final match was the men's Money in the Bank match. And what went down here was Corbin came out. I love it. He comes out and has himself introduced as former general manager and official son of Hartford. And you know what? My state really likes to elect inept leaders that don't know how to do their job and make things worse. So, Corbin, you're freaking perfect. But again, no Sami Zayn. No Braun Strowman. I was really hoping maybe Bray Wyatt would show up tonight. Unfortunately, no. I was hoping maybe Lars would have been that guy to come out. No. We got the biggest go fuck yourself from the WWE ever tonight. I wanted to end this on a really good note tonight because the match was amazing. Mustafa Ali got to look like $1 million. He did this nice backflip armbar thing. Salida del Sol, Sunrise Flip, Spanish. I think it's called the Spanish Fly, actually. My first recording, I couldn't remember what it's called. But he was on the ladder, grabbed the guy by the arm and did like a backflip thing and slammed the guy with him. It was awesome looking. Baron Corbin got to slam everybody through a ladder or a announcer table. McIntyre Claymore kicked everybody. Randy Orton looked like $1 million, which was surprising because I usually don't like his matches. The last couple pay-per-views he's been in, I've actually enjoyed because him and AJ at Mania was actually a really good match because AJ is just able to match anybody and able to match pacing. There was a really nice spot where Orton pushed the ladder. A guy, I think it was McIntyre, fell off, and as he was falling, Orton hit him with the RKO on the way down. Just everyone looked good. The only guy that probably didn't look the strongest was Ricochet, but he still looked good. Finn Balor just basically got suplexed into a ladder repeatedly. Ricochet got thrown in through a ladder. So apparently he does not ricochet off everything. And in the end, it was Ali climbing the ladder in the center of the ring. He was the last man standing after everything was back and forth. The guys all beat the living hell out of each other. Broken ladders and tables and desks everywhere. Guess whose music hits? Brock frickin' Lesnar. He comes out, just flings the ladder and Ali across the ring, grabs another ladder, climbs up, grabs a briefcase with a shit-eating grin on his face. Go fuck yourself, WWE. No one wanted this. It's that meme. Literally no one. Blank. WWE. Know who needs to win Money in the Bank? Brock Lesnar. So here's my thought. Either this is just to have a meaningful last match at the Saudi Arabian show before he goes back to, I was going to say ECW, back to UCF, the UFC, to do the MMA. It's like 12 in the morning here, folks. Bear with me. I'm recording this shortly after the actual pay-per-view. So he goes back to do MMA. So what I'm assuming is he's going to beat Seth. And what I'm hoping they don't do is they use him as a transitional champion to put the belt on Roman. Because if you want to see Roman never get cheered for again and get all goodwill destroyed in a single bow, do what I just said. What I'd love to see is maybe he ends up getting the belt from Rollins or whoever, and it becomes the opportunity for Braun Strowman to step into the limelight. Or, I don't know, maybe Bray freaking Wyatt stepping into the limelight. And there's also potential that AJ Styles would do it, because one of the promos before the pay-per-view was Seth bragging that he did the one thing AJ couldn't, and that was beat Brock Lesnar. So that was your pay-per-view. It wasn't good, folks. Now, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't good. It had 3 good matches and a bunch of garbage. And the Becky Lynch stuff was okay. The men's Money in the Bank, 3.5 out of 5. I'd give it a 4, but I'm even being generous, only docking half a star on your bullshit finish, WWE. But I'm not going to knock all the guys, and not that my rating system has any concrete thing to it yet. It's just arbitrary, so who cares? But I just eat shit, WWE, on that one. I can't trust that you have a long game in plan with giving him the Money in the Bank briefcase. Because you haven't demonstrated the last couple of years that you have a long game for anybody. But, you know, I've been gone a couple months, as I explained earlier, with the stuff I have going on in my own life. But I noticed I was a little bit snarky. Because I have a lot of snarkiness deep inside. But I've learned how to control that snarkiness. So I'm ready to come back and make more videos and be better than ever. What? You think I have budget for props? Get out of here. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I'll see you in a few days here with another video. My schedule is going to be probably 2 to 4 videos a month right now. Hopefully to get more as I come up with more ideas. But thank you for tuning in. As always, I'm the social pariah turned messiah. I am the misfit that doesn't know when to quit. I am the man without a plan. And in case you haven't heard, I always, and I mean always, have the last word. Peace. Oh, and if you didn't figure it out, I'm doing Bray Wyatt on my next video. Toodles.